some fun jokes today. Hopefully, we've got an awful roster of comics coming your way. I'm going to bring them up one by one, and we're going to see how it goes. So first up, Harpreet. Hello, how are
Hey,
you?
I'm all right. How about you? Give me some
I'm
thoughts.
I'm okay. We talked just a little while ago about your name actually being the same as my uncle's name, and that's super weird for me.
It's unisex. So is yours. It's part of the culture.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Here's Gavin Stephens. Hey,
Hey, how you
Gavin.
doing? How are you?
Doing well, doing well. And we got two more. Here is our friend Michael Moses, who is muted.
Uh,
How you doing, Michael?
Hey, hey,
And here's Christian Lloyd. Hey, Christian.
What's up, man?
This is gonna be interesting. Have you guys been doing online shops quite a bit? Are you used to this?
A little bit.
I
Um,
yeah.
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 All right. And we're gonna have Alice in the chat, and she's going to display comments. And Alice, somebody says hi to you. It's fail. Anyway, so that's going to happen throughout. I just wanted to show everybody in case they're surprised later on. What's this? Anyway, so for everybody listening, we're going to go through. Everybody's going to do a set, and then we're going to see if we can give some feedback. And then we're going to turn this into a big fat conversation, and we'll see what happens. You guys ready?
yep.
yes.
Yep.
All right. Well, our first comedian of the evening is Harpreet Sehmbi. Harpreet?
Thanks. So recently I just saw a picture of what Surrey Cruise looks like now, and I was just like, wow, she looks exactly like Scientology. You are an S, probably more specific. So during this quarantine, it's been tough. I'm not gonna lie. I've been stuck at home, obviously, just like everyone else, with my family. I live in a household with 5 people. It's this tiny house, and we're kind of we kind of have a family dynamic of like we love each other from afar. So we're pretty much together because of financial reasons. So pretty much we're roommates, and it's been weird. So it's hard to kind of find my own space, and everyone's having the same issues. So usually we'll go for walks, but we have this unspoken rule that if someone's gone for a walk, nobody else is going to go because that's their time to take a break from all of us. So one day I went for a walk and I miscalculated. I went for a walk. I saw my sister, and I walked past her like she was like a stranger. I was just like, "Oh, sorry, miss," and I just walked right past her. I got home and we talked like nothing ever happened. This is very true. Quite honestly, sadly, this is our family, which is a perfect example of like you can love your family, but you don't have to like them, right? Which has been like the theme of my quarantine experience. Um, so, so at the beginning of quarantine, I saw two specific tweets. The first tweet was, remember who messages you and checks up on you. They're the ones that care. And the second one was, no one owes you a tweet or a checkup or a message. And then I thought to myself, I think these people who actually made those tweets are actually just referring to each other. And people are just like, yeah, but they're like, no, I. And then I was like, Amy's like, I hope Sam sees it, you know. Let's see. So as I'm single and I'm 34 years old. So I've been single now for about 34 years, and I've never been in a relationship. So I was like, I've dated guys or a guy, and he once inquired why, and I was like, great question. I don't know, right? So I got professional help. the psychic told me that the reason I've been single my entire life is because I have a jealous ghost following me. And I'm just like, why would you give me this information that I don't even know what to do with? I literally felt like she just handed me a newborn child, and I'm just like, do I shake it? Like, what? So I Googled it, and Google's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't know. And Google's like, ask Jeeves. So that's still undisclosed. We don't know what's happening with that, right? So as comedians, well, all of us are comedians. We know, and for those who are watching that are not, we will record our sets. Usually it's a live show, and we record it. And we will put it up on like YouTube and send a video off to like producers of shows and festivals to give them an idea of what we do. And I did that one time, and I made the video public like an idiot. And somebody found it and wanted to leave me their thoughts. A person by the name of HMD Whip $ wrote, why do you dress like Hulk Hogan on his day off? I mean, I always felt like I dressed like him on his day on, but you know, to each his own. But then 6 minutes later, this guy replies back to his own comment, and he's like, but kudos for putting yourself out there. And I'm just kind of like, I love how this guy went from I hate her. She's doing a hell of a job. I gotta let her know. I just gotta let her know. I am just double checking to make sure I've got. I think I'm good. I think I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun. And whenever we finish a set, the first person we ask is Gavin. Gavin.
Oh, why me first? I think because I'm not doing a set. I think everybody else should go first.
Yeah, that's why.
Then I'm like, I think that takes a lot of balls to do stand up here. So yeah, I liked your ghost joke. I thought that was hilarious. You have an excuse why there's you're single because a ghost is following you, which is weird. Like, and you followed it through. You used that logic to continue with it. I thought that was funny. If other people have tags, they probably have better tags than I do. I just thought that was a good idea.
Thank you.
I also liked the premise of COVID is turning family into strangers.
Oh, we were always strangers, but yeah, sure.
No, I like the idea of how, like, you would think if you had to live with people for longer than you would otherwise, that you would get to know them better. And you do, but it's ironic that when you get to know someone better, you are so comfortable with not talking to them that you can completely ignore them, and that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
Could you combine the ghost is single with the last joke?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
Could you combine the single ghost, with your last joke about the guy that came back with a comment? Like, people, like, I don't know if this is insulting, but like, you're at a point in your life where it's so depressing that people are trying to make excuses for your life. Like, oh no, a ghost is following you, or they insult you online and then come back, like, at least you put yourself out there. Like, that kind of, there might be a connection between the two.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay. That's interesting. I never thought of that.
Kristen.
Yep. I liked it, and I liked the bit about Hulk Hogan or whatever. I honestly liked it because I've met Hulk Hogan, and he's a prick. To be honest. I don't know if you have ever heard like those old videos about how he like openly used the N-word, but I saw him in person, and right when he saw me, like, he just didn't want me to exist, kind of thing. And I was like, okay, I paid $200 for this, thanks, man. But yeah, I liked the bit. I liked how you dress like him on his day on, because he does not dress good in or out of the ring.
Michael, what did you think?
I liked it. I don't have any like tags or anything. I like the shaking baby line a lot, because just a funny like silliness, but like it gets people laughing at something you shouldn't laugh at, but it just makes sense. And like, you know, holding the baby, what do I do with it? And yeah, I like that
Yeah.
a lot. I think it just helps with the joke going forward, you know. That
Yeah, that's you're right. That's a super funny visual of just like that paints the picture of such like an antisocial, like not properly socialized person to be given a baby to hold, and they just go, "What do I do with this? Like, what is it?
yeah,
What are the like?" They're comparing it to their iPhone. They're like, "What are the features? Like, is there a software update or something? Because this is not working."
yeah, I think people will laugh at it not knowing exactly what they're laughing at, but because it is so funny that they'll laugh and then they'll go, "Oh no, maybe I shouldn't have." But it's good.
Yeah, that's the comedic sweet spot for everybody that's on stage, right? When you make
Yeah.
somebody laugh at something that they know they're not supposed to laugh at.
Right.
All right.
Or like they expect to laugh and they're already laughing, and so it's like, I got you.
Yeah.
Could you connect all those jokes into one thought? Is there a way to connect all? Is there a theme that you could find in all those jokes to make it one arc?
Oh, I know I should probably think like that because I feel like that's a good way to make an hour.
Well, it's not. It builds your jokes from like your opening joke. How you start off saying the Siri joke. It's a good throwaway joke. It's a good little opener. Lets people know you're funny. But if you can build an idea that connects all of them, you build. It's how you should build your act. You build it so every 15 minutes an audience needs a break. So you build them with an arc. So it builds up to a certain point, and then you start over. And you every bit you have should be a theme or an idea that you pay off with a series of jokes. So if you can put as many jokes as you can that build, and I'm sure you can find a theme with all of those connecting, but you have to really look for it. That's my advice.
No, I think that's awesome. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. All right. And with that, I think we're ready to move on to comic number 2, which in this case is going to be Mr. Christian Lloyd. Christian, take it away.
Alrighty. All right. So I recently got back from New York, but like not recently enough that I brought back coronavirus. I mean, in the way comedians say recently, so like anywhere between yesterday and like 5 years ago. So I went there for the first time, and I went there for the same reason that everyone went, because like we all see it in our favorite movies and TV shows and everything. And who wouldn't want to be at the same place as Jay-Z and Spider-Man at the same time, right? So I go there and I get out of the hotel for the first day, and I see back to back two of like the craziest like homeless people I think I've ever seen. I'm walking along the side of the road, and this guy walks up to a street corner, and he's dressed like, do you remember when Justin Timberlake wore that all denim suit and like the cowboy hat? He was dressed like that minus the cowboy hat, and he was just wearing a white shirt. And this guy just started singing, but like he didn't set up anything, he didn't throw out a hat, and the guy just wanted to sing. And none of us knew what to do, so we just kept walking. But when we kept walking, I went to the subway and I saw someone who was probably 3 times as crazy as this guy. So I get down there, and this guy is dressed like old school hip hop, like from the 90s, right? This guy's got his jeans are like just up to his kneecaps kind of thing, with his like a long tee that's right over that, puffy jacket, and he's wearing a beanie. And out of nowhere, this guy pulls out this boombox and he starts blasting Still Dre kind of thing. And this guy starts dancing, and like, I don't know if you ever saw like Terry Crews and White Chicks, but like this guy was substantially better than this man. And right when I saw him, like all I was thinking is, I don't understand why you're doing this for free. If you throw your beanie down, you're about to make a lot of money, right? And then it got me thinking though that like every big city has the same problem with people downtown, or I guess homeless people downtown, is that everywhere you go, everyone's asking you for $2, or they're asking you for a bus ticket or something like that or whatever. And then all I was thinking was that like it's such an annoying thing for us to deal with on a regular basis. So I think I came up with a solution. And I don't know if you guys watch the same movies that I watch, but I'm a really big fan of the movie The Manchurian Candidate. So if you've never seen the movie The Manchurian Candidate is about a bunch of American Army soldiers who are unwillingly put into a sleeper soldier program so they can be used by government agents basically to just kill people at will, right? I was thinking all we have to do to solve our homeless problem is if we go up to the homeless people, we give them a check for $2,000. We tell them, and for all they know, once we give them the $2,000, that's going to be enough money for them to buy enough bus tickets and cigarettes for the rest of their lives, right? So they come with us. We turn them into these sleeper agent super soldiers and whatever, right? And I was thinking that the perfect thing that we could do, let's say if you get cut off in traffic or something like that, right? Typically by some guy in a Dodge Ram or something like that. And he thinks everything's good after he cuts you off and you honk at him and he gives you the middle finger and whatnot. But then he pulls up to a red light and a homeless guy just emerges from a group of people, pulls this guy out of the car and gives this guy the beating of a lifetime, right? And then I was thinking that's such a basic way to use it, because why not use it on a government espionage level, right? So everyone wants Donald Trump gone, right? We want him dead. And I was thinking we dress this guy up like a normal citizen. We throw a MAGA hat on this guy. We send him to a rally kind of thing, right? So he's just in the audience. He's getting pumped up. We call this guy. We activate him. He hops on stage. He starts strangling Donald Trump and whatever. But this guy's in soldier mode. So they're tasing him. They're shooting him. This guy doesn't even feel it, right? He's just a man on a mission kind of thing, right? And then then eventually he goes to prison and there's no ties to us whatsoever. So I think if I'm saying anything at all, is I think it's time that we weaponize the homeless, and I don't think anyone's really talking about it.
When?
I think that's it.
All right. That was great, Christian.
Thank you.
All right. We go to our resident panelist that's not taking a set tonight. Gavin.
Good job. It just, I don't have much to say, but that was a good job. It was, it's a twist. You got a twist on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Harpreet.
Yeah, I like your comment about the Dodge Ram, because I'm I can totally imagine who would be driving that. But yeah, no, I like that twist too. It was funny. Yeah.
I have 2 or 3 tags that I think might work. They're a little bit dark, but you could make it work. When you what? I forgot. Yeah. When you were talking about that movie and you talked about the premise of that movie, can you repeat can you repeat the explanation of the movie that you had?
So the premise is that there's these American sleeper agents that are taken into a government program unknowingly, and they do the tests on them, and then they turn them into these sleeper soldiers, but they're not even aware of it, kind of.
Right, that they can use to kill people at will, right?
Yeah. So I should have explained further, but they say their full name twice, and then at the point that they say their full name twice, their brain just shuts off, and then they're kind of thing. Yeah.
So what popped into my head is right after you say these are sleeper agents that they come in and they basically are kind of get brainwashed, and then they're used by the government to kill people at will, or as they're commonly referred to in society, police.
That's true.
So that was one. Then when you mentioned strangling Donald Trump, I thought it would be super funny to just build the joke around that instead of having that pop up as an idea in the middle. So if it were me, I might try to go up on stage and be like, I really wanted to try and write a joke about strangling Donald Trump. So this whole joke is just an exercise in wishful thinking. All you know is at some point somebody is going to strangle Donald Trump. And then at the end, when you said, I think it's time to weaponize the homeless, you can also then say, oh yeah, and that is definitely the best demographic to strangle Donald Trump. Because how because you get strangled by poverty, which is the one thing you've never experienced. So
true enough, yeah.
Those are my tags. And then Michael, what did you think?
I thought it was good. I liked that. I have 2 tags, and they're the hackiest tags of all time, so don't take them. But this is the show, so I want to contribute somehow. But I like how you were talking about going to New York, and you kept on having these tags, who doesn't want to go where Jay-Z and Spider-Man are? I think those are great. New York references to put in, and then it's once you get to the homeless dude and you go, we didn't know what to do. I think you gotta like, and then do something that is, I don't know, maybe you guys take your pants off too, like a when in Rome thing, or that's and then you said something about we give the homeless guy $2,000, and I just think in these times you could bring in kind of like how the government gave everybody CERB $2,000. Everybody, like the government did the homeless people that were going to go homeless $2,000. So maybe there's something
Right.
there.
That's good. I'll jot that down right now.
That I don't know why that gave me the idea of like sometimes I feel like the government is doing so badly I feel nothing but pity. So I like received CERB and I was like maybe give it back because I'm like because I think you need it more than me. like why don't you invest it in a proper source? What I would like is to stop being injured for no reason. You invest it at the correct place. Leave the keep your money. Just let me stay alive.
It's like a thing where somebody offers you something to be nice, and then you have to decline to be nice. So the government offers you that money, and you gotta go, I'm good, thank you, I'll give it back, and then the government goes, oh, that's a good person right there, and then they treat you right.
True.
Okay. All right. Well, that was awesome. That was great feedback too. Awesome, guys. All right. I guess I'll take a set, and then Michael, you're on after. So
Cool.
Get ready for the hackiest set you have ever seen from a fledgling comedian that you have also never seen.
Sell yourself.
All right. So the premise is I've been getting more and more frustrated as I'm like kind of cooped up. But the things that are frustrating me are the same things that used to frustrate me before we were all stuck at home. It's just that now that I'm exposed to the same people all the time, they frustrate me even more. I just get reminded of the fact that people never think things through. They just have a thought and they think that thought is pure gold and they never like push it all the way to the bottom. So like I do it too, right? Like for example, I have this cupboard outside my kitchen with all these like cans of things, right, that I used to cook. But every time I leave my kitchen when I'm cooking to go get one of those cans, I completely forget what it was that I was looking for. But I never think to move the cupboard into the kitchen. And if I push that thought all the way to the bottom, there's the solutions right there. Just move all your stuff into the same space, right? But I feel that way when people like give arguments, and I feel like they're not pushing them all the way through. Like I like the idea of veganism, which is like sustainability and like energy, like conservation. But the only argument I have ever heard is, oh, you wouldn't eat meat if you had to kill the animal yourself. And I'm like, doesn't that kind of assume that the people that work in slaughterhouses are vegan? Because, like, if I were a betting man, I'm pretty sure I would bet that dude eats more meat than the average human, not less. And also, like, if you are vegan, you're probably vegan for moral reasons, right? In which case, don't hang out with that guy. Dude's a murderer for a living. Like, that dude just walks around saying, I don't eat animals, I just kill them. Is that really the kind of thing you would want to put yourself around? Besides, like, the thing is, we as a society have this thing called division of labor, which is just we'll make some people really good at a specific thing that other people are not good at, and then they'll do all of it, right? So the argument with slaughterhouses is more like we'll make some people really good at the killing, and then they'll do all the killing, which is also the argument that war is based upon. That is the point of the army. We'll make some people really good at the killing, and then they'll do all the killing. And it's also like think about all the war movies you've ever seen with the armies that are running at each other. They always look like all the people in the army always look like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. And I always wondered like why is that? And I was like, "Oh, because outsourcing, there's only a certain number of jobs for that guy to do." Like that's why that's the reason for these like world's strongest man competitions. Like all the jobs that dude could have done, we outsourced to like a crane. So like now he just has to like pick weights up off the ground and put them back down. Like this is what I would be doing to get paid, but now it's just a talent. Like there's no actual use for it. Um, but yeah, sometimes my arguments for not veganism make sense. Other times I'm just saying things out aloud and seeing if I can make them work because like it's funnier that way. Um, the other day I was talking to my friend and she told me that she had sometimes they'll just say things and I'll say something ridiculous and then I'll be like, let's see if we can make this work. So she said, oh, I want 3 kids. And I said, that's why I will never be vegan. And she's like, what do you mean? And like, I don't know. Let's see. And I thought about it and then I was like, I know. The reason I will not be vegan because you want 3 children is because do you know the energy expenditure of having a kid? Just by having 2 kids instead of 3, I have already contributed way more to the sustenance of the environment than you will be able to in your entire lifetime. So, and also, we have 7.2 billion people. We don't need any more babies, just in case you were wondering. So, if we kept halving our population every 100 years, it would still take like 100,000 years before we were anywhere close to extinction. So, how about next time, anytime you bring a human being into the world, you have to remove a human being from the world? You know, shoot a grandparent. I don't know. Like they keep asking. They're like, when are we gonna get to see our grandkids? Like, have them have an MMA style fight to the death. Whoever wins gets to see the grandkids. People say no child left behind all the time. I think they're focusing too much on the left behind part. I'd like to focus on the no child part. Stop having babies. and then and then the last thing I said to piss her off completely, and I didn't know where this would go either. She was like, oh yeah, I'm vegan. And I said, I am not vegan because the world is racist. And I had no idea where I was going with it, but I was like, I'll figure it out. I trust myself. I'll push this logic through. And she was like, I'd love to see how you're going to spin this one. And so I said, so you're probably vegan because you want the environment to sustain, right? And she said, yes. And then she said, oh, and you want your kids to be able to see like the valleys and the hills and the sky and the clouds without pollution. And she said, yes. And I said, well, even if I solved all of those problems, chances are my kids would still be born in a place where they're judged for the color of their skin. I have no vested interest in making life joyful for your kids if you won't solve my current racist problem. Like, how about you focus on the now problem first, and then we'll focus on your kids' problem later? You say all lives matter. I say some lives are delicious. And that's it. All right. Gavin.
I got lost on you wouldn't eat animals if you had to kill them. Because I assume that argument is that it's hypocritical. Like, you wouldn't eat animals because you wouldn't kill them. So, but you took in a direction of if everyone that works in the slaughterhouse would be vegan. So I got lost on that premise. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Right. Well, yeah, but I think maybe I need a better way to explain it, because the premise is when people say things like, oh, like you wouldn't eat animals if you had to kill them yourself. It's like, well, there's an example of a person that is killing all the animals and is most likely eating them as well.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay. All right. I hear what you're saying.
But I guess if you have ideas on how to make that clearer.
I think I think you have a lot of complicated premises. I don't mean that in a bad way. I think you have a lot of. I think there's editing. Really, is I don't mean to be a dick. I'm sorry if that's coming off as a dick, but I think the overall thing is editing and figuring out how to like when you're talking to your friend, and I mean this with like all the comics. When you're talking to like how you're doing that bit about talking to your friend, there's a way to make it connect to an audience. Like if you're writing think of the audience, not an audience, but that you're trying to explain yourself. So try to be, it's kind of counterintuitive, but kind of be simple but complicated at the same time. Try to not have, like, there was a lot of stuff in your bits that I kind of got lost in, which it was like, keep it simple but be complicated. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like Christian, you did the same thing. You have some, like, when you're explaining a reference, instead of explaining the reference, like your sleeper cell, people know what a sleeper cell is. So use the reference as a joke. I'm sorry, I'm not performing, and I'm so sorry. I sound like a dick. I'm criticizing you.
That's all right. No, I get it.
It's good.
I'm not trying to tear people's acts apart. I'm just trying to, like, the way I'm hearing it as an audience. That's all. It's just like, oh, because I hear what you're trying to say. It just, there's got to be a simpler way to get to that idea, and you have to leave them breadcrumbs along the way. And the breadcrumbs are jokes, right? You need to, like, the premises are too long where you can just, like, punchline, like, and it doesn't have to be one-liners, but it just has to be like just the punchline leads them. It's like, oh, if you keep listening to this, there's gonna be another one. If you keep listening, there's another one, and that's how you build up those premises where people are like, oh, that's amazing. This just work. That's all that is.
Okay.
I took way too long. Sorry.
No,
There's no such thing. There's no limit to feedback, only on the set length.
There's a lot of great premises you have in there. There's a lot of great ideas you have in there. I'm just saying this is the best way to.
Yeah, so I'll give you just a little more context for you to, like, center your feedback inside. This is like almost like a 15-minute bit that I have planned, where the entirety of the general premise is people don't think their thoughts all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry about 15 minutes. Like, worry about 3. Worry about 2. Worry about 1.
Right. Well, no, like, not in that sense. I'm more like, so I got like halfway through this, like what I had written, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So like halfway through this is like, after that it's like when comedians say things like, we're gonna go back in time and kill Hitler, and I'm like, don't think you're gonna kill a random baby in history and their mom's just gonna be fine with it.
No, I completely get it. When I work on, like, 5 minutes, it takes me 3 months.
Right.
It takes me 3-4 months to get 5 minutes to work. And then when I mean 5 minutes to work, it's 5 minutes to work in 90% of the rooms I play. Don't, like, I know what you're saying. I know, like, you've written out all these ideas. 90% of the ideas are gonna be scrapped. And all I'm saying is, like, just keep the ideas, and then as you build it, it'll form itself. It's I'm telling you from, like, this is just the perspective. I know where all of you are as comics, and you're doing great, and I get it. I completely understand it. I'm just saying this is a shorter way to do what you want to do. It's like a shortcut. Yeah.
Oh shoot, I missed all that. Can you say the whole shortcut, the whole thing? I need to take notes now.
No, it's all I'm saying is, like I said for you, is like the breadcrumbs is don't worry about your time. Don't worry about time at all. Just worry about, like, your first joke, the series joke. That worked. That's killer. I can build on that. And then it's like, okay, well, this is the idea I want to say. This, like, you have an idea that you want to say in general in your 15 minutes. You have an idea. So, okay, you'll get, like, I usually get, like, one joke I'll start with, and I'll work from there. And then, like, I'll go out, and a lot of it will bomb, and then, like, you just start building it slowly. And it's just like, the idea is to build it breadcrumb by breadcrumb, joke by joke, idea by idea, that connects the idea to what you want. And you have to keep it simple. Like, you have to not dumb it down, but you can't put too much in the way of the audience. You don't want them thinking too much, because once they start thinking, they start breaking your act apart. You want them just, like, keep it simple. And so the best way, Michael Moses does it, the best way to do it is to leave a joke, because they're not thinking. And you're like, what you're trying to say with your whole people say like the you wouldn't eat animals if you kill it. You have a whole bunch of that whole idea. If you leave them this thing as they go, like these little jokes, you'll get to it better. But like, just worry about 2 minutes. Like, just get the one working, and then move to the next one. That's what it sounds. Yeah. I
Okay.
don't know if that makes sense.
No, that brilliant. And thank you. That this is you have officially been way more than worth on this panel. Just in the last 30 seconds. So
It really is just sitting down with one idea for months, just editing, going through it, scrapping it, and then eventually, like, how long is everyone doing stand up here? Everybody,
a year.
Yeah, a year. Like, it's not long. Everyone's not long. Yeah. Mike, you're 7, and I'm 20 something. Yeah, 5 years. I'm 20 something. Almost. Jesus. You'll get to a point where you know your boundaries. Like when I write a joke, I can sit there and go, that's not it. You'll get to that point where you're just like, that's not it. You don't have that yet, but you'll get that by playing so many different rooms. That's the importance of playing open mics. And so, but right now you just have to like worry about 2 minutes, because you got to just let it bomb or let it kill, and then go to the next one, and then go to the next one, and build that idea. But just work slow. Just have patience. That's all.
All right. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Don't be. Cheers,
I'm
man.
Canadian. I
Appreciate it.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Harpreet, what do you have to say?
So I really liked your crane joke, because I feel like that was funny. I like that. What was it used? Something John. What's his name again? The Rock Johnson. I don't know. Dwayne. There you go. I like that. Outsourcing his work. Also, I thought you were gonna connect. I thought this is where you were leading with it, but with the first vegan joke that you had with the vegan joke related with the army.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were gonna connect the two, because they're both having to do with killing, right? So, sorry, I don't specifically remember I can't recite it to you, but I just thought the ideas should be married, or like at least like they should work together to overlap,
right?
Which, you know,
the way they were connected for me was that the killing of animals in terms of vegans is kind of the same as the killing of people in armies. Both jobs are outsourced to people that are good at doing them, but we only complain about one, not the other.
Oh, okay. So,
but like Gavin said, that's like ridiculously complicated, and I'm now slowly understanding what he meant by that.
It's not that they're bad premises. It's just that you have to figure it out.
I think it's a cool premise. I never like, you're making me think, because I never thought of that. I was like, you're right. I'm like, one is acceptable, one is not, and so is controversy behind those two.
Yeah. It is. Is it also, just as a sidebar, is it not ironic that you can make people good at killing other people and that's okay, but you can't make people good at killing animals? That's not good.
You have to explore that. That's a lot to dig in. But I think it's a great premise. Like I said, you're making me think, and that's something that you should definitely work on and explore for sure.
Got it. All right, Christian.
I think it's hard to say it better than that, right? I think it's just trimming the fat, and like not having like, and I'm working on it too, but like not having a joke go so long, because if your joke goes on for too long, then you have to have a really killer punchline kind of thing. And if you don't have that, then it just feels like a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of, like Gavin was saying, you kind of got to like just have it so it's like point, like little jokes along the way to a big punchline kind of thing.
Okay.
But besides that, I did like it, yeah.
Lovely. Michael.
All right. Well, they said it. I won't say what they said. No, I'll repeat. I like. There's a part where you. I just got to maybe a tag. you're a vegan, right? And you're talking to your friend and saying she shouldn't have babies, and you're the vegan, right? In the joke.
Sure. I was just making fun of her for no reason, but sure, I'm the
Right.
vegan.
Okay. Well, you're like making fun of her for having kids, and you say 1.2 billion people in the world. We don't need more kids, right? And I think it may be funny if she says it back, or even if you say it. There's 1.2 billion people in the world. We don't need more vegans. You know, something like, I'm badgering you about your life. We don't need more of me. Or she could say, well, there's 100.2 million, and you know what? I'm gonna have kids, and they're gonna eat meat because we don't need more vegans or something. Just a comeback that she can use there.
That's good.
You say it about yourself, like you make fun of yourself for being this annoying vegan, and you're like, we don't need more of this. This isn't the conversation I want to have today. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
I like, as soon as you mentioned that, I was like, huh, like, am I the vegan in that situation? Because I am not vegan. So I was like, is it even that important for the audience to know that I'm not vegan? Maybe I will be vegan for the purpose of the joke. I don't care.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's good. That might be fun to say. It actually might humanize me too.
Also, I was gonna
I
was gonna say, like, sorry, Gavin, I was just gonna make a quick comment about like your stance on oh my god, I can't think of it, but like your stance against like having kids. I'm just like, warn you, FYI. I feel like whenever like things that come up with kids and not having them around is always, from my perspective, a touchy subject. So just FYI, especially with like how passionate you were about her not having kids. You were just like, don't have them. And then so just FYI, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, go ahead, Gavin. Go ahead.
That's a good point. Is your premise kind of like being a vegan? You always have to justify being a vegan. Is that kind of where where you're going?
Well, the premise is still, people don't think things all the way through, because it's like, if you're a vegan and you have 4 kids, are you really doing that much to contribute to society sustaining itself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
You could have 2 less kids and eat all the meat you want, and that would be better.
So people are hypocrites.
Yeah.
Okay. I
had a premise idea, but yeah, she's a vegan and having kids. 1.2 million people. We don't need more vegans. We don't need more you raising vegans. Thinking that they're doing well for the world.
Right. All right. Well, that's making me laugh. So that's got to be it. All right. Thanks, guys. I do appreciate that. And after that lengthy feedback process, thank you guys for that, by the way. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, my struggle has always been not what to say, but how. So the more help I get with that, the better.
That's stand up. That's how stand up works. It's just translation. That's all it is.
But with that, I guess we can move on to another act, and that will be my good friend, Mr. Michael Moses.
All right, I'm ready for you guys to rip into me now. Quarantine has been going good. I started growing out my hair for the quarantine, guys. I started growing out my hair, but I always kept it bald, and then I realized I was balding, and I'll show you. All right, some balding, right? You see it? Like I go, yeah, it's balding. So I was bald, but now I'm balding, and I was like scared. So I'm trying to save it, and it's not going well. But the sides grow out faster, and the top's not growing out. But me and my girlfriend had sex for the first time I grew out my hair, and it was a lot longer than this now. But the first time we had sex, after she grabbed my hair, she grabbed the sides, and then she had an orgasm. And now she doesn't want me wearing a hat. She's like, you don't have to wear a hat. You show your hair to the world. And then I'm going, okay, of course you don't want me wearing a hat, because this side makes you come and this keeps other girls away. I'll do yes. I say this. I grew up in a small town that had one of the only black kids, and you get a lot of compliments that don't help your self-esteem at all. Like kids growing up be like, "Oh, Michael, you're the black kid. You must have a big dick." And I'm just like, you guys forgot I have a white mom. Okay, I have my white mom. Like she doesn't have a dick, but her lack of dick and my dad's big black dick, just average dick, you know. So it didn't help at all. But say that stupid thing to bring you into my next joke that I am half black, half white, and the sides, I feel like they like battle each other on they battle each other on opinions and arguments, right? So the white side will win sometimes, the black side will win sometimes. But the white side won. Like when I watched that Central Park Karen video, the white side won because all I could think about was the dog. You know, I didn't care about the racism as much. I was like, I hope the dog's okay. You know, people were like, oh, Central Park Karen got charged, but I'm like, okay, but is the dog okay? You know, did the dog find a good home? Doing okay. COVID is good. It was good to see everybody posting, black box, right? Black guys got to see which girls fuck black guys now, which was good. You know? Even when I see a girl now, kind of like 4 months, like not 4 weeks later, posting Black Lives Matter stuff, I'm like, oh, I think she's pregnant with a black baby right now, and she just doesn't know how to tell her father. So she's just gonna keep this going till Christmas and hope he finds out. Move on. Me and my girlfriend are competitive. We compete and stuff. I'm more competitive than she is, but we do compete. Like one time we were in Nashville and we went to a fancy bar and she wore heels and she like never wears heels. And there was a bocce ball pit outside, a sand bocce ball pit. So we went to play bocce ball in the sand and she kicked my ass. She won hard, like not close, and she just won by last throw. She was whooping me so bad at bocce ball, and it felt bad. Like this is the first time I ever lost to her at anything, and I'm just like almost hating her a little bit inside. And further on in the night, she walks away. She goes to a pool that they have, and she walks back with her heels in her hand, and she is holding up the heels. And they broke. She fell, she tripped, she hurt her knee, she sprained her ankle, she's crying a little bit. And I ran up and like, I just gave her the biggest hug, you know, and like grabbed her heels out of her hand, gave her a big hug and, you know, leaned in close and whispered in her ear, that's what you fucking get for beating me at bocce ball. And that is my time. That is the jokes I have.
Judge, oh judge.
You want me to go?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that balding joke was funny. I thought as an opening tag, you can compare like you're growing your hair back now that's balding. It's like one of those reunion tours by those bands full of old men that nobody wants to see. Like,
yeah.
Your hair and sticks is going on tour or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I thought they were funny bits.
I have 2 tags.
Yeah.
You know when you're talking about like having trouble growing out your hair, and then you said right after saying, "Oh, my hair was like growing out," and then my girlfriend and I had sex, but it was a lot longer. You can go, but it was a lot longer. The hair, not the sex.
Right.
Because everybody's bad at sex. And I have just explained my joke, and then
you don't have to explain it. I got it. Yeah, I know.
And then when you say women are uploading black squares on Instagram, and you can use that to tell what girls are having sex with black people, you can be like, you also get to see who's noisy in bed and who's not, because if they upload the Instagram, like they just upload a black square and then they say nothing for 3 weeks, they're going to be silent. And then if they like start uploading like 17 stories to Instagram a day sharing what other people are saying, that's a girl that's going to be noisy in the sheets.
Right.
Because
Okay.
she's always going to be giving you feedback. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
Christian.
It was good. I liked the whole thing. The only I think the bocce ball bit or whatever, I think is just another one of those same as every other thing, kind of like trim the fat. But I do like the whole joke. I just think that the whole like scoring point and whatever kind of went on for a bit long, but I do like the punchline at the end of it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And Harpreet.
Yeah, so just going off what Christian said, I like the whole joke. The only part I would suggest is, what was that? What did you say at the end? You said that's what I was just gonna say. Just shorten that. I'd be like, that's what you get, because I feel like if you just like,
Right.
Obviously if you're on stage and you act it out, you're gonna be like so like showing that you're loving and you're held her and whatever, and you're just like, that's what you get. And I feel like just those simple words, like whatever 3 or 4, that's what you get. I don't know, 4 words, are like perfect enough, right? Because everyone knows why you're saying that. Also, another suggestion. So for the black square thing, I was gonna say maybe you can even make a way to judge people, like on. Like if they're posting on Instagram, are they posting on their like, are they doing Instagram stories? Are they just posting on their Instagram? How often are they doing it? Do they only have one thing? Like I feel like you can make like a barometer, be like, well, if they post on their Instagram, then like for sure. But if they're only doing stories, then maybe just like giving head. But like if they're like, I don't know, like, but if they only like put up a square and that's it, then that means they're racist. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. They just cover their tracks. That's the black.
Yeah. I don't. So this is going to come out very serious because it is. But it reminds me of like you know how like from studies of the Holocaust, there was like the conclusion was that it wouldn't have happened if 99% of the other people were saying things, and the reason it happened was because everybody stayed silent, right? Like uploading a black square to Instagram and then being like, I'm going to support people with my silence, feels the same to me. Where it's like, why did you stop saying things?
Was it what was the joke about posting black squares? I forgot.
Kind of like you like black guys know which girls fuck black guys now because
what about companies posting black squares? Would it be the same kind of thing?
Do they fuck guys?
They fuck black guys. Okay. They fuck black guys. You know, like
Highlander Fish Sticks post a black square, they probably fuck black guys too, right?
Well, or they fuck black guys over.
Yeah,
like fuck it over. Yeah.
I guess I depending on how like fringe you want to make your set, you could say, so right after you say, well, people are uploading black squares, so now you can tell what girls are down to fuck with black guys. Corporations are also uploading black squares, through which you can tell what corporations have now decided it is profitable to show support for black guys.
Yeah, but then you're not hitting a punch.
Fair.
Right.
Like hit a punch.
Yeah, the joke is the fucked and then they fucked, you know, like with the 2 meanings of fucked. Yeah.
Right.
The company is like kind of a it's a nice twist, because now you're talking about fucking black guys with a company.
What company did you say?
I was looking up companies. I can't think of any right now.
I think it'd be nice to have an example of a company that did.
I was trying to find one.
I think Lululemon did. I could be wrong, but I feel like Lululemon. I could be wrong.
And Lululemon is a funny word.
Yeah, it's a funny word. If you could find something like SO or something like that, so like just bland, it'd be I think that'd be funny.
They didn't, by the way. It was just like it's like this. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Lululemon had to write, like their bags had to write something on their black square, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You ever heard of minimalism, Lululemon?
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's great.
All right, wonderful. Okay, well, that's all of our sets ish. We're gonna go into the second segment, but I have a couple of quick shout outs to give. So for everybody that's watching, if you want information on like more shows that we're doing, or you want to book a performer, Michael's great. The rest of us are pretty good too. Um, if you want to book a performer for your upcoming shows or your corporate events, or you want info on shows that we're doing, you can go to comicsoundsproductions.ca. And then we also have t-shirts for sale. There's the link. We have some t-shirts for sale that are locally made and they're sourced from a black-owned company. So, and then we're doing another show next Wednesday, July 22nd. And it's featuring a full lineup of hilarious women of color. And all the proceeds from that are going to go to these two charities that support black trans women. So whenever you decide that comedy is something that you want to watch more of, we will always have more shit for you. So go check out that link at the bottom. Oh, and Gavin just shared with the comedians a link for like, I think, are those corporations that are doing the Black Square, Gavin?
I just found one. It was Oregon, an Oregon Travel Oregon, but it might be more in this article.
Gotcha.
But you know what? Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, Michael. Forget. I'll message you.
Yeah.
You guys have an agenda.
The wheels are turning now. The wheels are
No,
turning.
the agenda is done. Say what you were gonna say.
Oh, it was nothing important. I was just gonna say there's so many Instagram influencers that have like their own business, like they are their business. So
right,
you can even use them. Like not you can use a company, of course. They're probably way better as an example, but whoever is like the most famous on Instagram, I guess celebrities, right?
Right. Yeah.
Huh. All right. So I guess we can do our. You guys ready to go into segment number 2?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I have an idea I want to toss out because it's kind of related to what we're talking about anyway. But yeah, this segment is just we're all tend to take like 5-6 minutes. You can throw out a premise that you working on, or you think you want to shape in a way. You want to have a conversation about it. This is the platform for that. So, because I'm guessing we've all been doing a bunch of online shows, but because I've been hosting a bunch of workshops, right? The thing is, the people that I have been trying to make laugh are all comedians, and I have been somewhat successful at that. But that means going out into proper audiences, every single joke that I have is going to bomb because it's stuff that makes comedians laugh. So there's no chance that it's like anywhere near like kind enough to the people that they'll be okay with hearing it. So I've had just too many conversations with comics where we've come up with like dark jokes that are super clever, but I don't know how to shape them inside a bit that might make sense. So I'll give you an example. We were talking about jobs that require so like some jobs require uniforms and some jobs don't, right? And we said, what are some examples of jobs that require uniforms? And we went construction workers, firemen, black joggers in America. Because if you're going out for a jog, you better be dressed head to toe in Lululemon, because otherwise they're very suspicious that you're not actually a jogger. Or the other day, I was having pizza with like 5 friends of mine, and they're all white people, and outside, and this police car drove by. And I turned to my friend and I was like, what do you think the ratio of people needs to be for the police to leave us alone? And then everybody started laughing again. But there's all these like premises that are pretty much jokes that are making fun of racism, but they're too dark. Like they're too similar to have be like at different parts of the set, and they're too dark to all be together with no relief. So I'm very confused with what to do about them. Does anybody have any feedback on that or like any ideas?
Never mind. Never mind.
it's very tough to do jokes about like the comics, the jokes that make comics laugh for an audience. Like, and I think it's like definitely one of those premises that like a lot of comics have done as well, but very tough to, such an inside thing,
Hmm.
But
Who's your audience?
so I don't have a tag. I'm just saying
who's your audience?
Who is my audience? My audience in my head is going to be people that enjoy like stream of consciousness material. So imagine anything that Carlin would make fun of. I probably also make fun of it just by coincidence. But
yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying, but I mean like it's not the style I'm talking about. I'm talking about like what you're saying is like, so you're playing predominantly to a left wing audience, I guess.
maybe so. Like you would know better. Like I said, I don't
No, I'm
have.
asking because I'm listening to your punchline. Like 'cause what you're saying is like you're talking about like dressing up in Lululemon, like I get the joke. It's they're Easter eggs for left wing audiences.
Right. Okay, then I guess that joke plays to a left wing audience.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you would be too edgy for that audience. I don't think that joke would be too edgy for that audience.
Okay. Yeah. I have a lot of I guess you're right that it might be smart to think about who the audience might be for a particular joke, or is that because I've never really thought about it. I just write what I think is funny and then try it.
That's the important thing. Like I think like I have the same kind of bent as you, but I can't sell jokes where my politics are obvious. Like I have to hide the politics in the joke. So like if I had to do a joke like yours, I would have to hide it somehow. Whereas like your punchline is that you're telling the politics. That's just like it's your style. I don't think it's a matter of that those jokes are too edgy. I think it's just that you have to figure out how to translate that to your audience. I don't think they're too edgy for your audiences. I don't think they're too clever. I'm not saying they're not clever. I'm just saying I don't think they're above who you want to play to. I think it's the thing I've learned when I started out is 99% of the time it's your fault. It's not the audience.
Right.
So if you go with that mentality,
Right.
you can fix that joke to work in the audience that you want to play to, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. The one thing that I thought might was somebody trying to say something? I feel like I cut someone off.
I think you just gotta trust the audience and know exactly like what you're talking about. Trust that there's a smart group of people, and you gotta almost disguise because you gotta remember you want to try to make them laugh at this, so you don't have to explain it too much, but you gotta find the joke and the silliness and the funny in there.
Yeah, and
then wrap it up in that.
Assume they know what you're talking about. Assume they agree with you.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm not trying to assume that they wouldn't understand. My issue has mostly been, well, not just with audiences, but even just like in real life, has been something needs like comic relief, right? And if it's true and dark and clever and funny, you need to like balance it out with something that's not. Otherwise it so like the only way I could figure out how to make this funny, well, like how to say this was like what would make it funny would be self-awareness almost, where I say something like, I understand that all of these jokes are clever but dark, so right after I say every joke I'm going to say something really vapid or like random or like something cute just to balance it out. So something like, oh, the color black is slimming because if you're it, you're gonna disappear. But kittens are cute.
Yeah.
And then
I mean that's what you want to do. Do that.
Anyway, all right. That's my premise. Harpreet, do you have anything that you would like to talk about?
Sure. I guess I had two, but I'll work on one. So one I've been a premise I have is basically, obviously there's horror movies in North America, which usually involve ghosts, spirits, murder, usually ending where someone's going to be killed or their life is being threatened. Horror movies for Indian people is everything to do with debt, like us just being so like before the lockdown, like for a few months I was really trying to figure out how to say that joke because it just was not coming out right, because like we really don't look at, like, obviously we mourn death and we, like we pay respects and we don't like it, like just like everyone else, but I think we also don't, like, we're so hardcore where, like, in India, I don't know if they still do this, but I know for a while my family did this, where like when somebody died in the family, they would keep the body in the house as opposed to at the morgue. Like that was a thing, because I think, is that right, Ashwyn? Like they don't have morgues, either don't
Yeah,
exist.
I think so.
Yeah. So like we're so hardcore that we kept bodies in our houses. Like we're just like that.
Well, not just that too, right? Think about how lazy cremation is.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, it's too much work to pick this up and take it to the morgue. Why do we even have a morgue? Just set fire to it. We're done.
Why do they keep the bodies in the house? Sorry?
Because it's too much work to take it to the morgue.
Is it too much work, or is it they have to pay for it?
Well, that too.
Okay. So I know because Ashwyn is from India, so I mean I just visited India and have heard of this. So, but anyway, my point was just that, like, I guess that was really just to build on the idea that we're not that afraid of being of dying as much as North American Hollywood, Hollywood horror films make it out to be. If that
It's
makes
like a zombie movie, is like a financial documentary, like for. It's like just seeing dead, like a zombie movie where dead people are walking around. It's like, well, that makes financial sense. It just makes that.
Yeah.
That's. Yeah, it's
I would say the way to make that funny, at least what would make it funny for me, is to tell it in a way where you're just, this is how the movie, like from the perspective of the protagonist of the movie. So I would say here is the difference between Indian horror movies and American horror movies. In an American horror movie, there are people in a house and the lights go out and then people start yelling and you have to go outside. In an Indian horror movie, there is a man, he's in debt. And that's it.
Yeah, like I tried it. Like there's been so many ways I've been trying it. I tried it, and it's just like, so I'm just like trying to look for that. I know this might be the, what is it? The thing that kills me. I'll be working on it for a while, but
your albatross.
That's right. There you go. Yeah, and because I feel like, I mean, like I started trying it last year or late last year, but sorry, Gavin, you're saying, I thought I understood it. Maybe I think I'm just really dumb.
I was just saying, like watching a zombie movie would be like, it's India, right? I'm sorry.
Sorry? Right? Yeah, I'm Indian.
Yeah. So watching a zombie movie in India would be like a financial seminar, basically, because you see all these dead bodies, no one's spending money to put those bodies in the morgue. It's like, oh, it's scary, but it makes financial sense. Like all of bodies walking around, because zombie movies are all dead, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So because if you're keeping the body in the house, a zombie movie would be like a week. Yes. I mean, it's not scary. It wouldn't be a scary movie.
Oh, okay. I can see that. Yeah, and I can work those two as a, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
It's a funny idea. It's really a funny idea.
Yeah. Well, I have like a kind of joke that's similar to that, in that it's based in like differing values. So like how my parents, now that I've moved here, my parents like try very hard to be progressive, but like Indian collectivist cultural values are somewhat conservative, so it's funny when they clash. So things like, if I told my parents, Dad, Mom, there's something I have to tell you and you're not going to like what I have to say, they would say things like, oh, you're gay, that's fine, we've known for a while. But if I said, oh, Mom, Dad, I'm trying to be a stand-up comedian, they would say, we would really rather prefer that you be gay. Like, have sex with whoever you want, but make money because we need to get out of here like pronto. So like making money is a much bigger Indian value than I don't like your sexuality.
Can I do one more? Is that possible?
Yes, please.
I mean, I won't even have to say it. I can repeat it, but this is the joke I had earlier. That I feel like there's something there, but I'm not sure if how to work it. But I'll be quick. But it's the one I told when I was doing my set about quarantine and living in my family and like us having to live together. I don't know if I should just say it again, but basically, we're 5 people living in a household. We live together just because financially it makes sense. And but we tried to, like, during quarantine, avoid each other. We went for walks, but we try to go one at a time to avoid each other because we already see each other so much in the household. But then I saw my sister. We acted like we didn't know each other. Came back home. I was like, we talked like nothing happened. Yeah, so that's kind of the premise I was working with. I guess
maybe there might be something funny about how you guys like go out, but you take the same route on your walk. Like, you know, because the fact that when you see each other, but like the fact that you guys are taking, I don't know if there's something there about, somehow taking the same, the same route that you know, we don't know each other, but we're taking the same route. Like nobody goes in opposite directions either.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get away from them, I guess.
I really can't.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe you guys talk about the walk. Like you guys talk like nothing happened, but you and your sister had a great conversation about your walks.
And you finish each other's sentences.
Sorry?
Yeah, like you tell the same stories, like about the walk, like you encounter something and you guys tell the same story.
Yeah. Did you see that dog too? Did you see?
Yeah, but you act like you didn't see each other.
Yeah.
Did anybody else find it funny that Harpreet like finished her premise and all 4 comedians all together went,
Because we're thinking.
Because it can go, because there's a lot of potential. So you're like, there's places to go with it for sure. Like some about the conversation you have after. There's something there you could do. Some about the walk. About the instead of saying like we just talk like usual. Yeah. Some of whatever you talked about could be a joke somehow.
Like, oh, I saw like, you know, this person who looked like you. And she's like, yeah, you know what? I saw someone who kind of looked like you too. Like, it's crazy.
Right. Or even like a sister thing, like, you know how sisters wear each other's clothes. So I saw somebody who was wearing my shirt out there, you know, or I saw somebody who was wearing my shoes, like, you know. Oh yeah, I saw somebody who should mind their own business too, or something, you know.
You could probably say you get more privacy.
Like, it's weird, right? And it's funny that you guys pretend like you didn't know each other, but it still caused a fight when you got home. We're strangers outside, but that still caused me and my sister to fight somehow when we got home.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Christian.
Trying to think. I have this one, but like I feel like it's been done, to be honest, but not. I'll throw it out there. I was thinking about how lucky we are that weed is just good for you. Right? Because like, you know what I mean? Like with like cigarettes, you see it gives you lung cancer, it gives you like, it does all this terrible stuff that makes you die faster than you should, kind of thing or whatever. But like, we're so lucky that reefer madness wasn't real, and it wasn't like a mix of like an acid trip and like MDMA where you're just out in the middle of the street like the Coney 2012 guy masturbating in the middle of the street every time you get high. It just makes sex feel better and it makes you go to sleep faster. That's basically the premise that I'm working on.
The premise is weed is good.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that weed didn't live up to the hype, because you watch Reefer Madness and you're like, yo, everything's gonna be green and blue and these colors, and somebody's gonna jump out a window and shit, and then all you guys did was sit there and chill and eat food, and you're like, what the hell is this? I guess you want to do that again tomorrow.
What about the guy that's always trying to convince people weed is good? Like, it's like, you're that guy. It's like, we get it. You like weed.
Yeah. It's funny to be like, oh my God, I'm going to see colors instead of shapes. And then you have the weed and all you do is, I feel sleepy.
Yeah. True enough.
Yeah, that's good. What else could you do with it? Huh.
So it's just simply weed is good, like, or it's just more like comparing it.
It's not just weed is good. It's more like how lucky are we that like Reefer Madness wasn't real, but it's better. I feel like Michael premise is better. That like how much does it suck that we this much of a letdown when Reefer Madness made us think it was going to make us take our clothes off and whatnot. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would personally, I would want to turn it into, are cigarettes jealous of weed that weed is not harmful to people?
Yeah, not a bad point.
Like that would be like if there were two girls and one of them had only ever been in that'd be like if there's two girls and one of them had only ever been in toxic relationships and the other one just walked around being like, everybody loves me.
Yeah.
I was gonna think.
Jotting down this stuff, by the way, just little points here and there. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say that what you said, what kind of reminds me of like the way you were like, it was a letdown. Like people, I don't know. I've had friends like this where they were like, in high school, I did everything. I smoked this, I drank that, and I injected this, whatever. And then they're like, but then when I got to 21 or 18, 19 and I was allowed to do everything, I didn't give a shit. I didn't want to do it. I was just at home all the time. I didn't go clubbing. Like they did everything in their teens. But then when they became adults, it just wasn't as appealing to do all that stuff they weren't allowed to do. So I feel like maybe like with the movie, you're just like, you were so excited. There was this build up because, at that time we weren't allowed to do it. And then when you actually were, and then the movie, obviously, it was after you watched the movie, you were just like, actually, I don't think that's good. Anyways, I don't know if you want.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I feel like I know I had, but
it's like if you watch Casablanca now, you're like, yeah, this is shit kind of thing. Yeah.
That's a classic, funny comic thought of you go down a train, you're like, that's not good, and you immediately move on. Like, I have never seen somebody less attached to the way they think than a comedian.
Yeah,
you just jump off. You're jumping off trains all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're able to like be analytical and be able to let go of certain thoughts. I think that's important sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, Michael, do you got anything you're working on?
Yeah, this is a joke. Just something I heard because I was listening to the radio and they were saying that. I think it was whatever, but some stores doing all the self-checkouts. And then the lady goes, oh, man, I'm going to really miss talking to people at the grocery store. And the joke is like, my joke is just trying to make fun of like, what conversation are you having with a cashier at the grocery store? Like the only conversation you can have is I'm paying debit. And no, I don't want to donate. And then you move on. But it just makes me feel like people are having these long conversations and holding up the line. Like, what conversation are you having at the grocery store that could possibly make you miss, going to checkout 7 because Teresa's gonna be there. And you get to talk to her. Like maybe just something like that's I was just like, oh, maybe like the fact that people are having conversations with the cashiers are going to miss talking to them so much.
Yeah, you could be like, isn't that what podcasts are for?
Right, don't you have your headphones in when you go through the cash out anyway?
So you can pretend to third wheel somebody else's interesting conversation.
Yeah, just or maybe they should put voices. They should put voices on the self checkout, like a robot how are you today? You know, thank you for scanning with me and just
Yeah,
just
I relate
about the
that to
conversation.
yeah, I relate that to trying to have a conversation with the lady at the Starbucks drive-through.
Yeah,
Like,
but like, why are you doing that? You're holding up
yeah,
the.
like exactly. It's like when she's like, "Hello, welcome to Starbucks. What can I get you?" You're not like dignity.
Right. Even like,
Wouldn't everyone
even,
after COVID want to be having long conversations with the
I was-
grocery store?
That's exactly what I was just about to say. I was like, I did the opposite. I was like, I wanted to talk to people more and longer, and I didn't give a fuck about the lineup.
Everyone's gonna be the old person in line. Everyone's gonna be showing up with their change to pay for stuff.
right. With
Hmm.
there's that.
So they're gonna start hiring conversations. It's conversations. They're gonna start hiring cashiers that have good conversation skills.
Or maybe instead of greeters, you just have people that walk with you and talk with you while you're shopping.
Yeah.
So that by the time you get to the cash out, you're done. And you know all about the store, you know how much the minimum wage they're getting, and then you can move on. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Or just,
Not to implement, to talk about. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
Good.
Hi, welcome to Food Basics. I'm going to be walking with you today. Talking to you.
Oh yeah. Like when you go to
like
if you were to go to a restaurant and they're like, oh, like, hi, I'm this. I'll be your server for the evening. Like you walk to Food Bakes and they're like, hi, I'm Kayla. I'll be your conversationalist for the evening.
Yeah. You can ask me all my questions about what I'm doing for school and how much minimum wage I'm making. And do I like this color green? And some. Yeah.
Huh.
Like I love getting in
Or
Ubers and having conversations with the drivers. Like I'm one of those assholes sometimes, but I feel like that's a nice thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It goes different. Like people, because some people are those people that have the conversations, and
Yeah.
But
Well,
I guess. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I was just gonna say I like having conversations with people in Ubers. I just don't like pretending that we care about each other.
Right. Yeah, I feel like an Uber, that's like, a 5+ minute ride where you can have a conversation. Like I'll try to talk to my Uber, but I'm not trying to talk to when I'm just trying to get a Kit Kat, a banana, and some eggs. I'm not trying to talk to a person.
Michael, let me. I really get what you're saying. I just think it's so funny because I had I got an Uber one time, like a really short drive, and which I didn't realize it was, but anyways, it was a short drive, and it was a woman. It was the first time I had an Uber driver that was a woman, and her and we even sat in her car and talked when I got to the destination. We exchanged numbers, but to be fair, I had to find out the hard way that she was trying to get me to join Mway. I thought we were
right. That's funny though. That's funny. Like, the only reason they're having the conversation with you is to get you to donate. Like, your only conversation should be, hey, I don't want to. But the reason that, hey, by the way, do you want to donate to the sick kids? Do you want to donate that $2 now? Yeah. Or do you want to Mway? But that's fine. But yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good that you like to have those conversations. Good to know. So
I'm gonna go now.
I didn't know people all went shopping for bread and also a new friendship. I didn't know people did that.
Yeah.
I do
that just reminds me of like
you went to the grocery to get your bag of apples, your bread, and go home. But you went and like, I'm gonna make a new friend today.
That just reminds me of like if I ever get into an Uber, like 9 times out of 10 there'll be like 4 to 5 minutes of silence, and then the Uber driver looks at me awkwardly and he's like, "I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name." And I'm always like, "My name is Ashwyn Singh Chadda. Nobody knows how to pronounce my name, first of all." Oh, and then second of all, I was like, what is this name privilege? Like, who gets into an Uber just expecting, oh, I'm sure this person will know what to call me? Like, There's got to be like a grand total of like 5 names that people can assume people know how to pronounce, and all of those names are like Carrie, Karen, Adam, Blake. Like, I don't have that kind of name where I can just get into a car and be like, this person knows what my name is.
It's funny with your name because if you broke it up, you could pronounce it easily. If you just put Ash and then Win, people would go, "Oh, Ash, Win," like, you know. But then you put it together and people are like, "Oh no, this is the alphabet backwards."
This is the alphabet backwards.
Ashwyn, I think Mike Moses. Oh my God, Michael just gave you a joke to work on. There you go.
Yeah.
There's a simple start.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe I don't know if this is funny at all, but like if somebody asks me, "Oh, how do you spell your name?" And you go ASHWYN, and all their like they don't remember any of the other letters. All they ask is why. Why do you
Right.
pronounce your name like that? I'm like, I don't know. Are you under the impression people have a choice in how their names are spelled? But anyway, actually, I guess
they
Gavin.
They want to know why you didn't pick your North American name. You know, why don't you just go by Ash? Or
Yeah.
why don't you just go by Trevor? Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Gavin, do you have anything that you're trying to work on that you maybe just want to throw out?
I haven't been working on anything. I haven't been writing at all.
Take a look, audience. This is what 20 years looks like.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. I got no
This is what
form, so I haven't written anything.
19.
We can do that joke backwards. You know, 5 years of life.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
We can throw that back at you.
Yeah.
I know what I look like. I'm fine with it.
Here's what
Doesn't
30
seem like
cents
you
looks
are.
like.
It doesn't seem like it. You got a lot of confidence.
See, talent is God-given. Confidence is just you got it or you don't, you know.
That's my point.
There you go. Yeah, you got that.
That's my point.
Yeah. I'll have to work through the philosophy of is it really that good to be confident if you have no talent? But
No one's questioning your talent.
You'll turn that into 15. You'll have that. You'll hold up your paper. Have that 15 minutes written out tonight. Tonight you're working on that 15-minute bit.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure for the next 3 years, I'm just gonna tell jokes. People are not gonna laugh, and I'm gonna be like, "Screw you, that's funny."
I'm just more surprised that you get 15 minutes on stage already.
A white guy, like I swear to God, like that's the attitude of like white dude comics. Like I'm funny, and you're gonna listen to me because I'm talking to you.
Yeah. Stop eating your meal. Yeah.
Stop. Why?
You thought this was a restaurant. It's a comedy show now. Stop eating your meal.
Before I go perform, I swear to God, I think that's so funny when people are able to do that easily. I feel like in 20 years, I still won't be able to do that.
Do what?
Do what, sorry?
You said eat and then perform, right? Is that what you said?
Oh, I meant just like how those comics like tell people that, like, you know how we bust shows in the middle of restaurants or bars, and then say, hey, stop eating your food, please. So you know, please listen to us. Stop having your conversations and listen to us. That's all I meant. But yeah,
I'm gonna blame it.
But maybe instead of a comic that brings a drink on the stage, you'll bring a plate of food on the stage and be able to kill. Imagine if you were able to just murder and eat.
Yeah, I mean, I have always like philosophically felt that there is a certain confidence that people like sometimes comedians specifically lack, but that's the thing that they have with their friends, which is like, have you ever had it with a friend where like you say something and your friend is like silent in the face, but you can see in their eyes that they're laughing inside?
I don't know. I don't think that's a friend. I don't think that's a real
Dave,
friend.
1.5 years, man.
The real friend wouldn't laugh. The real friend wouldn't have kept it back in their eyes.
Right.
The real friend would have.
No, but in that situation, if I'm right about it,
Those are friends.
but in that situation, if I'm right, no, because they're just like that dude knows he's funny, and I don't want to encourage that kind of confidence, you know.
Who are you hanging out with?
Yeah,
You got something.
you need new friends, man.
People don't want to laugh at your jokes.
Well, I hang out with a lot of comedians, so.
Oh man, that's the worst.
Like that person's probably going through some like heavy stuff, and you just took that twinkle in their eye as they're laughing at you. But no.
Oh, so no matter what, I'm not funny. Fuck you, Michael.
But you have the confidence to go, I'm funny. My friends are always laughing through their eyes or not, but they're always funny. Even if they don't laugh out loud, I can see it in their eyes. You ever have a friend not laugh at one of your jokes, but they snare their nostrils, and you're like, yeah, they're laughing at you. I got them.
Well, no, usually when something like that happens, I'll just say it out loud. I'll just be like, I could see you laughing. You might as well do it out loud, and then they start laughing.
I don't know. Well, that might be an uncomfortable.
Call them out.
That sounds more like
a
an
threat.
interrogation.
Threatening them,
Not really a joke. That's like a threat. That feels like an interrogation. You need to laugh.
Yeah.
Was it like that?
Yeah. Do they back up as they laugh?
Yeah. They don't turn their back on you just in case.
Well, I mean, I'm sure all of that's true, but people do have that thing of, I think this is funny, but I'm uncomfortable with other people seeing me laugh at this. I don't want that.
That's not a thing in my world. I don't know what you're talking about. I hang out with comics all the time. That's not a thing.
Yeah. In friend groups, close friend groups, they'll laugh at that, no matter how fucked up it is, and it will get more fucked up because in like audiences, some people might not laugh around some, or because they don't. It's actually not funny, or they just don't think. I think it's people just don't think it's. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are going. I can't laugh at that. I think they'll laugh if they think it's funny. That's why you gotta hide.
It's an uncontrollable response. It's like
right.
You can't control it. That's what laughter is.
Yeah, people aren't sitting in comedy rooms going, "Well, no, I'm here with my boyfriend. Definitely can't laugh around my boyfriend."
Yeah.
That's why you gotta hide the joke. Like I think Harpreet's shaking baby joke was the perfect thing, and that's kind of some sweet and like some you instantaneously laughed at, and then you went back and you go, oh man, I just laughed at a laughing baby joke. That's funny. Like shaking baby joke, I think
all right, note to self, write more shaking baby jokes.
No, how the joke was.
I think you have enough material on hating babies. I feel like you're doing all right there. Like maybe go the opposite direction. I don't know.
All right. But on that note, I think we've laughed enough, and I think it's time to end this thing. But Harpreet Sehmbi, Gavin Stephens, Christian
Thanks
Lloyd,
for having me.
Michael Moses. It has been a pleasure. Thank you all for joining JokeShop, and thank you to everybody that was watching and for your lovely comments. And we will see you next time. Please go to comicsansproductions.com to see when this is happening again. Love you.
Yeah, go Comic Sans.
Take care.
Good night.
Bye.